Hey netizens, Srirag here, welcoming you all to DigiMestry Labs. Today, we address a specific Unity topic, how to rectify the weapon clipping issue faced by every game designer during their Unity project lifecycle. To demonstrate this issue, let me open a Unity project. I'm using the URP template in Unity version 2020.3. I have also tested this in Unity 2019 LTS version. I have set up a small scene. I've added some basic obstacles and a playable character controller. If you're wondering about the character controller that I'm using, it is one of my personal favorites from the asset store called Game Creator. I put a link in the description in case you want to check it out. Let me circle back to the issue. If I start my game, draw my sword, and move my player character towards an obstacle, you may notice that the weapon is clipping through the wall or getting pushed inside the wall. Part of my player character is also getting clipped into the wall. This is an overlooked issue. We might have noticed this shipped in some major game titles available in the market today. So, how can we try to avoid them in Unity? Let us discuss. We have two different ways to avoid this weapon clipping issue. The first method is to use the camera stacking option provided by Unity. The second option is to use a custom forward renderer. This custom renderer can be used to render the weapon and player separately from other game objects. In this video, I'll be using the camera stacking option to overcome the clipping issue. Before we start, I would like to point out that it doesn't matter what asset that I'm using inside this demo. You can follow along with your assets without any issues. So to begin with, let me reopen the scene. The first step is to create a new camera. Name it the weapon camera. Now, let us copy the main camera's transform. We will use these to replace the transform values of the weapon camera. Now, add the weapon camera as a child game object to the main camera. This allows the weapon camera to follow the transform of the main camera. The next step is to locate the player game object in the hierarchy window. Under the layer component, add a new layer called the weapon layer. Assign this weapon layer to the player game object. Change the children to. Now, locate the weapon game object in the scene. In my case, since I am using the game creator module, I will have to locate the weapon prefab under the project window. In your case, it might already be present in the hierarchy window. Getting back to the topic, select the weapon game object. Let us assign the layer component to the weapon layer. Change the children to. So, now both player and weapon game objects are under the weapon layer. Select the weapon camera again. Now, let us change the render type in the inspector tab to overlay. When we make the weapon camera render type to overlay option, the camera will be available as a stackable camera under the main base camera. Now, navigate to the culling mask property under the rendering section in the inspector tab. From the drop-down menu, select only the weapon layer that we created previously. This forces the weapon camera to display only the game objects that are present inside the weapon layer. Now, let us select the main camera again. Check if the render type is set to base. Now, we will navigate to the rendering section. Change the culling mask property to add all the layers except the weapon layer. This forces the main camera to exclude the game objects that are present inside the weapon layer. The next step is to navigate to the stack option in the inspector tab. Click on the plus icon and add the weapon camera to the stack. Let us save the scene and test the changes. Let me start the game again. In my scene, let me draw the weapon. Now, I will move towards the wall. And great! We can see that the player and weapon game objects are not clipping through the wall anymore. So, to sum it up, we have the main camera setup. It renders the game objects in all the layers except the weapon layer. On top of the main camera, we added another camera, that is the overlay camera. We named it the weapon camera. The weapon camera only renders the game objects present in the weapon layer. This rendering happens on top of all other game objects present inside other layers, and hence fixing the issue. So to conclude this video, we have looked into the first method, that is the camera stacking option. This is one of the easiest methods provided by Unity to avoid the clipping issue. In part 2 of this video series, I'll be using the custom forward renderer method to fix the clipping issue. Thank you for watching this video, and please do subscribe to our channel and like this video to support our initiative. We would like to bring such game dev contents to all of you folks out there. Thanks again.